where so many people will literally say, what difference does this make? You know, like, how is it going to change my life, whether the earth is flat or round or not? Really? What difference does it make that people lie to you about everything? So you made an interesting point here just a moment ago that I wanted to get more of your thoughts on. And so I'll bring up Jude, the book of Jude, in chapter 1, verse 13. God says, raging waves of the sea, which brings to mind the idea that there's waters above the firmament, as we know from the scriptures. He says, raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And that's the only time the exact phrase wandering stars is used in the canonized text from what I found. And he says that they're reserved to the blackness of darkness forever. And so when you just said that the wandering stars here, what we've been told are planets, that were all given Greek demigod names, basically, you said that they may be entities, that they themselves may be devils, fallen angels of sorts. And
yes, I think that they are entities, yes.
Yeah, so, okay, do you know and follow Joe Hill?
That Messed Up World?
No, Joe Hill, is he? I think he has his own channel. I haven't followed a whole lot.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
and I've seen
that's okay.
things, but I've not really looked into
Understood. Yeah. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding some of his ideas and theories because they're controversial to say the least. But I don't always agree with a lot of his ideas and his findings. But what I got to give him a shout out for is that he may be onto something when it comes to the International Space Station. Somebody made a joke, and I don't mean to be facetious, but I thought it was kind of funny. They called it the PISS, the Pretend International Space Station. Yeah. Nonetheless, right? So we got something Joe has said here, and I think it's really interesting to cover this topic here. That he says, from the beginning until 1998, there were 7 wandering stars. From 1998 to 2019, there have been 8 wandering stars. And so he made that post just to kind of, get people thinking. But if you know a little more about what he's saying here and where he's going with that, he's implying that since 1998, now what was supposedly launched in 1998, the International Space Station, okay? Yeah, so if we know that there is no point in which you can go up in altitude and somehow start being floating around in weightlessness, right? What goes up must come down. So when it's said that the International Space Station can be observed, there is something that can be observed, and it applies to a predictable path, and it has its orbit supposedly, and there's even apps that you can track it with, okay? And so then even flat earthers with P900s and the like have been able to capture this thing that's said to be this satellite, basically going 17,000 miles per hour, faster than a speeding bullet, right? So we've been able to capture this on film, and from looking at, especially some of the videos Joe has been able to uncover and post, looking at these videos, this light in the sky basically is what it appears as, that looks as if it's the International Space Station, seems to kind of almost as if it's morphing and changing shape a little bit on the edges, like, so that brings to mind the idea that demons and somebody that can disguise themselves as an angel of light would be a shapeshifter, you can imagine, right?
Oh, it is, biblically, yes.
Yes, so that being said, if you look at this, that what is claimed to be the International Space Station, because we also know that when looking at the footage of supposedly the astronauts being aboard the ISS, it's always nothing but green screens hanging from wires, hanging upside down, nothing but a bunch of Hollywood magic, right? So then, if they have something we can actually see, and we know it's not what they say it is, then what is it? And so upon further examination and looking at the details, I'll share this with you real quick. Something I discovered is that, the 5 I wills of Satan, okay? He says, you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mount of assembly in the far reaches of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Those are the 5 I wills of Satan, right? So real quick, then you have the Lord says to him in return, he says, you will be thrown into hell. You will be gazed upon, made a spectacle of. You will be talked about, mocked and scorned, and you will be cast out of your grave like a carcass. Be alone. And you will, and God always has the final word, basically, is what this is saying that I was just reading from. So when it says that he will be gazed upon, made a spectacle of, and then he'll be talked about and mocked and scorned, I can't help but feel like that relates to how, everybody gazed upon the ISS, made a spectacle of it, oh, what a wonder. And then all of a sudden, lots of people are waking up and mocking it and scorning it for the lie that it is. Isn't that interesting?
That's true. Now, that is very interesting. Now, I have seen a couple of videos by, and I think it is the same guy. I didn't know his name was Joe Hill, but yeah, Effed Up World is his YouTube channel, and
there you go.
I've seen a couple of videos, and it does make really good sense. I'm not dismissing it at all. There is some controversy, and it is a very controversial subject, but it does make really good sense. I mean, and then you can look at the scriptures, and it's not out of context there. I'm not saying that I completely 100% agree with the man, but yes, he has a very good point worth definitely looking into.
Yeah. Another verse.
Because, it lines right up, man, right with it. The
Right.
ISS is up there. It got launched up there. And I actually just made a video on my YouTube channel about the ISS before it got put up there. It's about an 18-minute video of how the ISS, when they was talking about putting it up there, but it wasn't up there yet. It was like in the 91, 92, the video, and it's like, and I kind of course, put clips in there where they're faking it here and there, to show that, look, this is totally fake now, this is what they're really doing.
Yep.
But it was a propaganda video promoting the ISS, and they already was doing everything they're doing now before it was even up there. Now, how is that possible?
I know. And there's no footage of the construction and or launch of this supposed hunk of metal that's flying around the Earth.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that don't.
I wouldn't dismiss that guy, man.
I know, right?
So he might really be onto something.
Yeah, just like with all of us, we can be onto some things and we can be a little confused about some others. And I want to take this second real quick to issue kind of a public apology to Joe. He's been under some fire, like some prominent truthers in the community with a lot of followers have kind of called him out lately and been upset with him. And I too have, in my own way, called him out, letting people know and him know that I didn't outwardly agree with some of the things that he, his theories and what he agreed with. And I felt bad once I saw that other people were kind of attacking him. I want him to know that he's loved and he's a brother in Christ with us. And even though we can all be wrong sometimes, I don't know at the end of the day ultimate truth. And I think we can agree on that. We're just trying to figure it out together. So much love to you, Joe Hill. And we appreciate what you're doing, trying to get to the bottom of it with us.